scared the dark. It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne.
And Michelle.
And we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. And you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise your horns.
Welcome back, Crypt Crew, and welcome back, my friends, all of you, to another edition of Lost in the Bog podcast. Tonight, we welcome back my dear friend, my brother, Alexander the Great, Alexander the Wraith, Alex from Bog Talk podcast and Bog Wraith, of course. And him and I are live in the studio for the first time together ever. Just him and I together for the first time. And we came together to talk about one thing only, and that thing is the new movie, Clerks 3. Him and I saw it, and it absolutely blew us away. Spoiler warning for anybody that hasn't seen it, turn this off immediately and go rent it. I think it's on like Roku or something for rental. And it comes out in early October, probably on like Amazon and stuff like that for rental. But turn this off immediately if you haven't seen it, because we're about to spoil the living shit out of the whole movie. We basically talk about the entire movie. But you know, Kevin Smith is absolutely one of my biggest influences of all time by far. And he was Jay and Silent Bob Get Old was pretty much the first podcast I ever like discovered and started listening to. So without his influence and his approach and his podcasting and all that stuff, I never get to Lost in the Dark. So without him, there is no Lost in the Dark. So every time he comes out with a movie, I get very, very, very excited. And especially when it's, you know, a Clerks movie like Clerks 3. And this one landed, it hit harder than most. I immediately would rank it amongst some of my favorites of his catalog. Like it's immediately in the very, very top. It's one of the best movies I think he's ever done, and it absolutely blew Alex and I away. And so yeah, you're about to hear it, but it's huge. All the spoiler warnings, all this, I forgot to say it in the episode, but all the spoiler warnings for this one. But it was a great movie. So if you have seen it, I hope you enjoy this conversation. And Snoochy Boochies. Welcome back, everyone. This will be a Lost in the Bog, probably.
Right.
This one's for both sides of the coin. Tonight, Alex and I are in the crypt live in person.
Yeah, something that's a little unusual lately.
Yeah. Shit. I think the first episode you and I did solo was about Nope. And that was on Zoom. Mm-hmm. And so this would be kind of, in a sense, the next one of those.
Still love that Nope.
Oh, episode. So good.
Good one.
So good. I've watched it a couple more times, and oh God, it gets better every time you watch it.
Right.
It really does. It's breathtaking.
Such a good movie.
But tonight you and I are here because you and I are the only ones in our little Lost in the Bog universe that saw Clerks 3, which is something, a franchise. Kevin Smith is an individual. These are all things that we care very deeply about. I've said many times on this show, Lost in the Dark would not exist if it weren't for the influence of Kevin Smith and doing his podcast in the way that he did them. Really, one of the first podcasts I ever found and listened to on a regular basis was Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. Mm-hmm. After one night, I watched Strike Back, and I was like, fuck, I want more Jay and Silent Bob. And I was just I remember I was just literally sitting there going through my phone, like, what is this podcast app that's always been on my phone? I've never clicked on it. What if I click on that and search Jay and Silent Bob? What happens? And I found Get Old, and then, the rest is Lost in the Dark history.
Episodes on episodes.
But that was the first place. And then I actually believe, I'm pretty sure that the first ever live podcast I ever saw was I think it was Get Old. Yeah, because I saw Get Old twice live, and I saw Fat Man on Batman once. And I think they were sandwiched. So I think Get Old was first. So but even before that, for me, Kevin Smith movies have I remember being a young kid, being raised Catholic and watching Dogma for the first time, and it literally changing in everything that I thought about. I was like, somebody articulated what I've been trying to say this whole time, and it blew me away. And ever since then, yeah, Kevin Smith movies have meant the absolute world to me. For a long time, been huge influences, all the podcasts, everything. Where do you kind of start with him? Where does it go back for you?
My older brother was a big Kevin Smith fan. He was like an aspiring director when he was growing up because he really loved movies and film in general. So I remember him getting into like Clerks, and then he started watching Mallrats and stuff. And I think that's when I started like being like, well, let me check it out. I don't know what this is. So I sat down and watched Mallrats with him when I was like, I don't know, like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
it's about when I think I saw Dogma.
Yeah. And like it was one of those things where it just clicked with me immediately. I was like, yeah, these are the kind of people that I feel like I would feel like the most comfortable hanging out around, like
it was like your friends on screen.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was a very relatable version of people that I hadn't seen on movies before.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I love the humor. I love the stylized like shots that he does. It was just a very different kind of movie than I had seen before. And it kind of helped me get into more like crude humor and stuff like that,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Then after that, I saw Strikes Back. I think that was around the same time. No way. When did Strike Back come out? Like 2000, 2002?
Yeah, somewhere in between 2000 2005, somewhere in there for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember, but like actually, so yeah, no, I think I couldn't see Strikes Back in theaters. I think it was one of those movies where like I had to wait, and my brother got to brag about seeing it in theaters.
Okay,
and so what happens in the movie and stuff.
But by the time that comes out, you're aware of it. It's something you're interested in. Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely looking forward to it because like it was one of those ones where like Mallrats hit me. I watched the movie Clerks. I really liked that one. What was that one that he had that was like really like it was like the Brian O'Halloran as a clown. It's like what the clown is from the View Askew logo.
He's a clown.
Oh, what the fuck?
I don't remember.
It's like called like Malice or something like that. I don't remember what the fuck
Oh man, called. I don't know that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like this fucking like it was kind of a gritty movie, honestly.
So it wasn't Jersey Girl or Chasing Amy?
No,
because those were kind of similar time.
I didn't give Chasing Amy a chance until I was an adult.
Same,
because I always heard it was a romantic comedy.
That one,
and I was like,
that one, honestly, that one and Jersey Girl, I didn't really give it because when you're in the View Askew verse, you want Jay and Bob to make an appearance at least, and they at least do in Chasing Amy. But I didn't know that until I was older, so I was like, all right, I'll watch this whole movie because at that point in time, I was like, I understand dialogue, I love Kevin Smith's dialogue, writing, and all that stuff, and I was like, even though I know they just make a quick cameo, I'll watch the whole thing. What was it?
It wasn't a Kevin Smith movie. It was a Brian Johnson movie that was distributed by View Askew Productions.
Oh,
it was called Vulgar.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah. I have not seen it, but I've heard him talk about it because that's Brian Johnson. Yes.
Yeah, I knew it was a View Askew movie. I just didn't know to what capacity, and now I do.
Yeah.
So glad I corrected myself there.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but was Kevin Smith, was he not the first one to put Stan Lee in a movie? In Mallrats?
He was the first one to give him a speaking line because he had made cameos in the Incredible Hulk series.
But that was the first time he got to talk.
Yeah, that was like the first time that people had like actually given him like speaking lines and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like really nervous about it.
Yeah. I always thought that was a cool thing. And even up to when Stan passed away, I heard Kevin Smith talk a lot about that and how like they were about to, what was it? Shit. It wasn't,
because the last movie he got to actually shoot, Stan Lee at least, was the movie that Jay Muse directed and produced and stuff.
Method of the Madness, or
Method of the Madness.
Yeah,
or
which
Madness
was
in the Method. That was it.
Which was really really good.
Yeah,
Actually,
it was a
like
really good like first movie for a guy. Like
really good movie. Yeah.
I wish more people gave it a chance because, like,
me
I know
too.
it's like, oh, it's fucking Snoog and Stu, but like, he really fucking nailed it, you know?
He really did. Like he really did. The whole movie kind of completely changes tone towards the end, but like in a really cool way. And it was really like it didn't feel out of place. Like it felt natural.
Yeah, it definitely organically branched out from like the premise of the movie of Jamie wants to be a better actor.
Right. Yeah.
Very easy starting point to go with, and then it fucking snowballs into a really fun idea.
And so that was but even up to that point, I feel like I remember Kevin Smith talking about like what was the next one they made after that? It would have been a reboot, right? I think. Yeah. It would have been a reboot. The next one was to come out and that's right. Yeah. And Stan Lee was supposed to be in that.
Yeah. Brody was supposed to like have Stan Lee in the shop or something like that. And that's why he had like the big shrine with his sweater and stuff in it.
He was I don't know if he was supposed to be in the shop or not. That is totally that would be great. There should have been two scenes then, because the scene I know about is the reason why Kev at the end of the movie came out and played himself in that final scene.
Oh, he was supposed to be the director.
That was supposed to be Stan Lee.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's I mean they had a good relationship all the way through.
Yeah, maybe I just thought he was going to be in the comic shop because Brody and him know each other.
Right, and they did have that great shrine. That was really cool, actually, like his sweatshirt and everything.
Yeah.
But then we get to from like one of the, for me, outside of like seeing some of his movies for the first time, one of my favorite memories ever, the first time ever seeing a Kevin Smith movie, is I was on like a family vacation, I want to say, or something like that, in like fucking Toronto or something, somewhere up in Canada. And I'm pretty sure it was Toronto, but I totally could be wrong. I actually asked my dad about this the other day just to see if I could get it right. And he's like, yeah, I think it was Toronto. So I'm pretty sure I'm right. He took me to see Clerks 2. And
dude, and I remember seeing Clerks 2 in theaters also.
I mean, first of all, one thing I never even like noticed before, like kind of revisiting this memory, is that in Canada they have theaters that are like 2-story, and what I mean by that is there are movie houses on the second story.
Oh shit!
Like they stack it like that.
Oh shit!
And so I remember the theater and walking in thinking it was like this is unlike any other theater I've ever been in. And they had giant like models of shit everywhere. It was like really like to the nines. It was like I was very impressed. And then we go in and I'm sitting there next to my dad watching a movie with a donkey show.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
it gets to that point and I'm like sitting there trying not to laugh, but like
I was dying laughing with my dad because he knew that I was going to be laughing and giggling at a fucking donkey show joke. Insane that they even put that in there. That's hilarious. So you saw it with your dad for the first time in theaters? Oh,
no
yeah,
fucking
definitely.
way.
Yeah, my dad's a Kevin Smith fan too. My dad's always been like really big on movies and stuff. Like there's so many times where like I'll be like, oh, I don't really like that movie. He's like, he's a hater. You overthink movies and stuff. And then like when he thinks a movie sucks, that movie is not very fun to watch usually. I'm like, damn, okay, like good point.
Has he ever seen Jacko?
No, and he probably would never want to, honestly, because he can put up with some movies, but there are other times where he will literally just shut off a movie and be like, I don't ever want to actually watch that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Honestly, I can probably count on one hand the amount of movies I've either left the theater early for or just stopped watching in the middle of and never went back to. On one hand, there's not very many.
Yeah, I've never left a theater. That is one thing that I can honestly say, that I've never been so upset with a movie that I left the theater. I usually give it until the actual ending.
Yeah.
And then I get pissed.
In fairness, it wasn't my I think I've only done that once. I'm pretty sure I've only done that once, and it wasn't I was with a date and she wanted to go. So we left. So
that's not even like you being like, this movie sucks.
No, not at all. I was actually like, oh, this is a little bit better than I thought it would be. But because I went in with zero expectations.
But that's the best way to go into movies.
Exactly.
You literally don't expect expectations are a poison.
Now, so did you have any? That's an interesting point, actually,
No,
because did you have any going into Clerks 3?
No, because
Okay.
I knew that this is new Kevin Smith. Like, this is
Yes.
post heart attack Kevin Smith.
Yes.
This is different than the way and the vision that he used to have.
Yes.
Very abundantly clear. So
Mm-hmm.
the way Jay and Silent Bob reboot worked,
Yeah.
very different from any of his other movies.
It literally, to this day, like even with the release of this one, that one still sticks out to me as moving very different than anything else he's ever done in terms of like the pacing of the film.
Honestly, I feel like he almost envisioned the movie like being like a streaming movie or something at first. Because like the tour seemed like it was like something that he was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I can actually go show people the movie.
Yeah.
And then like he was like, I'm gonna do that instead. Because like there's a lot to it where like I just feel like it was like meant to go on like HBO Max or something, you know? Like, it feels like one of those movies where like they were kind of like, we'll give him a budget, but just enough. And I know it was crowdfunded and stuff partially.
Yes.
So like,
yes, it was. Yes,
he
it
definitely had enough money to do so. It's just really interesting, like the pacing of it and like the way it all flows and stuff.
Yeah.
Sticks out abundantly clear. And then this movie, honestly, there's parts of it where like it doesn't even feel like what a Kevin Smith movie used to typically feel like. It feels so mature in the weirdest way. And I mean that in the best way possible, because like, yeah, there's the classic fart and dick jokes and stuff like that. But then there's like these really introspective, serious moments where these actors get to show who they are as actors and actually pull emotion out of you in such a fucking big way. And like, that's something that I never thought I would get out of a Kevin Smith movie that wasn't like, trying to think of like a really poignant moment where like something like that happened, and like it, like the rain scene in Chasing Amy.
Oh, well, that's a great scene.
Like that's a really raw emotional scene.
Yeah.
And I feel like he hasn't hit a peak of emotions like that until now. And this has been a big peak in emotion. Like
I feel like there was a hint in Reboot, the scene with Jay and his daughter.
Okay, that's true. I did forget about that, because I did well up
that
a little
did
bit.
That did hit. That actually did hit for me.
When he said some asshole missed out on being your dad.
Yeah. That hit. That, and he did such a great job. I do know people. I have friends where they were like, really, Jay's getting sentimental. I'm like, yeah, like that's the evolution of this character. Yeah, like that's what happens.
Like you can't always be the goofy man child. Like he still is, but like
he still totally is, even in this movie. And his daughter shows up in this movie. Like
I love the way she showed up just right at the end.
Yeah, like but then for me, what really was amazing to me about one of the things that really stuck out to me about the Clerks 3 is going into it, the only expectations I had were what he put out there. And by that, I mean the synopsis of the film, basically.
Oh, Randall has a heart attack, makes movie.
Randall has a heart attack, makes Clerks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Who would have known the wild fucking ride that would have been just from that synopsis alone? Like, holy shit. Because like I thought it was going to be like a goofy fucking slapstick.
Yeah.
We're recreating all the moments from Clerks and stuff. And
now, you know, at any point at this point, you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Now that we're getting into the meat of it, I might as well,
because now
it's TBD, kids. I swear to God.
Now I want to start at the top of the film, because oh my God, and that just clicked. Much like the top of Clerks 2. We open Clerks 2 with Dante opening the quick stop, and the whole fucking thing is on fire.
To a very poignant song about what is going to happen in that movie.
What was the song? What's the opening song for that one? I don't remember.
What was the name of it? It's the Talking Heads song. That's basically just saying how people are tearing down beautiful landscapes and putting up big old fucking goddamn conglomerates of stupid fast food and things that are just poisoning people. And then he goes and works at a fucking movies.
Yes. And then in this one, we open with the Black Parade from My Chemical Romance. Brilliant. Brilliant. And a brilliant opening sequence.
As soon as I heard the first note.
Ding.
Yeah, that one piano note. I
Yep.
started laughing out loud, and people were like, "The fuck? The joke hasn't even started yet."
Y'all don't get it. And we go to basically a really wonderful montage of like them playing hockey on the roof and Jay and Bob coming in and slinging some weed.
Fucking owning the old video store. I love
owning
that.
It's the THC. What's it called? It used to be
THC rental or whatever.
Yeah.
They just kept the old sign, and then instead of VHS, they put THC over it.
Yes, exactly. I thought that was brilliant.
I also love the fact that they still own that place after a reboot, because that's where Cocksmokers was.
Yep.
Hey, that was just a front for drugs. Nah, there was drugs in the front and the back.
Yeah, that's how we do it in the 90s, son. But we open, and so in comparison, and this is just what dawned on me, is in comparison, we started with the quick stop burning down. And this is, so like I said, going in with my expectations, Randall has a heart attack, gets freaked out, makes Clerks 1. That's it.
Right.
And then I saw all the trailers, and so I definitely kind of had like, I was like, all right, awesome, fuck yeah, Rosario's back. Like I was so happy Rosario Dawson was back. She's one of my favorite actors of all time. She's one of my favorite parts of Clerks too.
Role in this movie is poignant though,
dude. And then so where I'm going is that in comparison to him first opening it and it's on fire, we start this movie with a friendly montage of them playing hockey on the building.
Yeah,
and then
back into the idea of this is the quick stop,
right?
How things work.
This is the quick stop is back, but there's still tragedy to be told, because not very long into the movie, Dante is at the register and he clicks the button and closes it, and we see a little picture of Rosario saying this date to this date, and like it happened so fast. I went, wait, is she dead?
As soon as I saw that picture, I was like, dude, that's literally the same year the movie fucking came out.
Literally
same year.
I was like, but I was like, wait a minute, what did I just like? I was in shock. I was like, I didn't know wait, is she dead? How is she going to be in this movie? And then of course, to the point of all these movies, in a sense, always sharing some piece of a soul with Star Wars, she basically comes back as a Force ghost, in a sense.
Specifically for Dante, yep.
For Dante.
She's always looking over him.
Yeah. And so to your point, that how poignant some of those really emotional scenes are, we get the first hint of it, real big hint of it. Obviously, also it's part of his DNA because it happened back in Chasing Amy, but then we get a hint of it with Jay in Reboot, and then it really goes off in this one.
You know what I just thought of? Not only is the Black Parade a good way to like show the passing of time. When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city, all that shit, like very obviously saying, look at all the time that has passed. It is also the key song to an album that is about getting cancer and dying.
Yeah. Yes, and that's a good point.
Your fate as dying.
Yes.
And that's a very big plot thread throughout this movie, is like looking death in the face and saying, okay.
Yes, not necessarily having to do with cancer itself, but yes, it's the
cancer was just the plot thread of
it's the coming to grips with morality, like
your own mortality facing you right in the
mortality
like,
sorry,
bitch, you gonna and that's where fucking Randall passing out right in front of Elias, and Elias trying to do mouth on him.
But what specifically, and that was another element that I loved, was Elias's arc.
Yeah, Elias gets his own Silent Bob. He's still getting dropped off at work by his mom for some reason.
He gets his own Silent Bob, who in real life is Harley Quinn's boyfriend, longtime boyfriend.
Yep.
And which I thought was hilarious. I thought he did an exceptionally good job, actually.
Yeah.
And but Randall has his heart. So we go through the montage, and then we have a really cool, like, like just another scene of all of our clerks in the quick stop having like a loosely religious discussion. Like,
right, yeah, exactly. He's
like,
fucking macking on Elias for being religious
Mhm.
and stuff, and like making fun of him. And again, they were having a conversation about like the Mandalorian or something beforehand. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was, but like
something Star
Dante
Wars.
and Randall was talking about something.
Something Star Wars.
And
Pretty sure.
again, as soon as Elias starts getting made fun of, he prays to God to smite this sinner, and that's
Exactly.
when Randall has the heart attack.
He literally is praying to Jesus to smite Randall, and Randall has a heart attack right then.
That's so fucking funny.
Hilarious.
And then the hospital scene plays out pretty much exactly the same way that Kevin Smith tells his fucking heart attack story, which I love.
Really,
it was to
yes.
a T, to the same story.
Literally, like if you have ever heard him talk about it on a podcast, he uses the same words.
Mhm.
The same, like I could. The first time I sat down and
What's
watched
your
the
pain
movie,
level? I don't know, like a -3.
Yeah, well, you're doing it all wrong. Like the whole
Usually when you have a heart attack, it hurts.
Yeah, and the now I believe in real life. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he used the real life doctor's name that saved him.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure because they said the name multiple times, and I'm pretty sure I heard him say like we actually used the real life doctor, his name, even though in the movie she was a female.
Yeah, it was played by the girl from Strangers with Candy.
Yeah, really good. I thought she killed it too.
Oh, she was great.
She ate up the scene.
The little bit that you get of her, I love it.
Yeah,
it was so good. She fucking comes in the witch costume. What the hell?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm a very good doctor, so you're gonna live.
Just a little hungover.
It was really good. And
then
like,
fuck it, dude. But even the whole thing about like how in real life, Kevin was just told that he's having a heart attack. It's very serious and he could die, but he's still not going to let anyone see his dick. And Justin Long comes in.
No, I'm like really embarrassed. I have like a really small dick and my friend can't see it.
Oh, okay. Like the voice Justin Long used, that little goofy voice, like kind of thing.
Well, I either have to shave your sack or I get to shave your sack. And today I get to because I love my job. That shit was so good.
Dude, he was killing me.
Yeah, Justin Long is somebody that's overhated, hands down.
Overhated? I love everything accepted Jeepers Creepers. I love everything I've ever seen Justin Long in.
You always see people disparaging his name for no reason, though.
I don't see that.
I do.
That's messed up because they shouldn't. I think he's great and should do more.
He's terrific.
Yeah, I think I want to see him, and that's part of the reason
for that walrus.
That's part of the reason why I really am excited about Kevin Smith making Tusk 2, because I can't believe he actually said that he's going. I want more Justin Long at the end of the day.
He's gonna forego Moose Jaws for Tusk 2,
or maybe he'll springboard it.
Watch, he's gonna have a reference to yoga hosers in Tusk 2.
It better. It's part of
the Canadian saga.
Yeah, somebody should be in it. Yeah, but so okay, so yeah, we get to Justin Long, and then Randall goes through it, and then there actually is look. Then that's one of the reasons why I really loved the lady that played the doctor, is because that scene between her and Dante after the surgery.
Yeah, where she was like, listen, if you eat like this, motherfucker, and you're the same age, get your heart checked out right now.
Yep.
And like, she like fucking was like, do it straight up. And he's like, thank you, I will. And then he gets very wrapped up in Randall's shit.
And she even said, like, your friend might go through some changes. I felt like that scene is a good example of how this movie does a good job at achieving the balance between funny and serious in a lot of scenes, where like it is a funny scene, but there are very poignant and serious aspects to it, even foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely foreshadowing, which is a really nice like touch, because it's what the fuck is it? Chekhov's gun, you know, you can't show something in the first act and not have it mean something by the third act.
Yes.
Like you have to have a reason for things. You can't just do things. That's why so many movies just feel like things just sort of happen, because there is a lot of that.
And then where'd we go though? We get to a next fairly poignant scene where Randall's talking about how he's never done anything with his life and he decides to make a movie because Dante's like, I always thought you could have made a good movie.
Yeah, I loved that too because Randall was like, you know what? Yeah, I could make a really good movie, couldn't I?
Yeah.
And he goes home and he writes his screenplay for Inconvenience.
Now,
stupid name.
Let me ask you something, because one thing that stuck out to me was Randall, was that like apartment in between the two businesses always there?
Yeah.
Did he always live there?
I don't think he always lived there. I think it was like a new thing that like
once they bought the whole Quick Stop,
yeah,
they probably
because Kevin still is like in touch with like the owner, like you saw the thing post, like he like legitimately like knows the people that live and like operate that fucking store.
Doesn't he own it now?
Kevin?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
It's still that old man that they showed in the behind the scenes and stuff. Him and his son still own it.
Oh shit! Oh
yeah, so like the guy that like Kevin worked for back in the 90s still owns it, dude.
Or maybe because I thought he put like part of like Smod Castle in it or something. Like once it moved out there. I don't know. Maybe he's just renting part of it out or something.
Because like the Quick Stop is still like that's legitimately just how the Quick Stop is set up.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really change anything. Except for like put up like nails stuff and like view askew stuff specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what happens after that?
Yeah, we make a movie.
He's like, yeah, we're gonna make a movie. Elias has pledged himself to Almighty Satan.
That's right.
He told Satan in the hospital to rape him without lube, and it was really, really fucking awful. I hated that scene because it was so like, there
was something that stuck out to me about that scene though, because one thing that I kind of kept in the back of my head is that in this universe, like in this, I'm good on it. In this universe, like not only have Jay and Silent Bob like been to Hollywood and they essentially saved the Quick Stop by giving them the money from the Buntman and Chronic movie.
It was really funny too because they even say that at one point where like Randall's like kind of throwing a hissy fit and he just goes, what? We're the only motherfuckers that have actually been on a movie set before twice.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And fuck it. Yeah. Cause Dante was giving him shit about making Silent Bob the DP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Silent Bob's explanation for why he wants to shoot it in black and white. Cause that's the one that Kevin Smith's like, people have always told me that was a really clever thing. And he's like, I was just broke, dude. I couldn't.
It wasn't clever because we didn't have good lighting. It was terrible lighting. But like, also, Jay and Silent Bob have met God.
Yeah,
and so
God herself.
God is real, and so are demons. Yeah,
that's what.
And so are demons in this universe. So I'm always kind of like
the Catholic faith is a real thing within Kevin Smith's universe, which is crazy.
So I'm always kind of like looking for it a little bit. And there was this one part in that scene where Elias is like, fuck Jesus and all that stuff, where it only happens once, which is part of what stuck out to me.
When it starts thundering out of nowhere.
It starts thundering out of nowhere, and almost right at the same time, the automatic doors in the hospital open and stay open and nobody walks in or out, and nobody's even standing near it. And then they close, and then they never open again. And I was like, what was that? Because it happens in framed perfectly, like right behind Elias's head. Like it's the way it's framed and everything, and it's a little fuzzy because it's the background, but it's still very noticeable because you can still see everybody standing around it, and clearly nobody's going in and or out. It just thunder strikes and it like opens on its own and then closes and then stays closed, and every other time you see it in the shot.
That's interesting.
And I was like, is that just something that happened on set by accident, or is that meant to like signify something? Because you also never hear the thunder again.
That's true.
Matter of fact, throughout like almost the entire movie, it stays pretty nice out.
Again,
yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. I always think about that in movies when like they have like perfect weather for like the entirety. Like,
yeah.
It's not like one time that it's just like kind of muggy, like
a little extra hot.
Yeah. But let's see. So I remember when Dante was leaving and like fucking Randall's still typing away at the script. Fucking, it's like, good night, Randall. He's just 37.
37.
That scene's not going in your fucking movie, Randall.
That was good. That was really good.
This shit was
37
in a row.
Yeah, and then
you guys making a porno in here?
yeah, everyone asks if they're making a porno.
Yeah, it's gonna take him 21 days to fillet himself on the screen in a row.
And then we kind of go through like it's I mean, you could call it a montage, but like there's I still feel like they're full scenes most of the time. Like there's like montagey bits cut up within full scenes of the making of Clerks, kind of.
Right, yeah, because he like tells Dante, hey man, making this movie, gotta get money for it.
Mhm.
And then Dante's like, okay, well, I don't want to fucking do that, go fuck yourself. And then he goes visits Becky's grave.
Dante.
Mhm.
Yeah, to get inspiration. And that's for the first time we see Force Ghost Becky.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's how Rosario's going to be in this movie, apparently.
Yeah. And she basically tells him straight up, like, why have you been waiting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, live your life, do something with it, you know, like live the life you want to live. And it's like, this is a very valid thing. And I love how serious Brian O'Halloran gets to get with this fucking part, you know, like
He really gets to, yeah.
sitting there just telling her straight up, like, if there's anything I want to do, it's not worth doing without you.
Yeah.
And that fucking hurts, man. Like,
And it's just so like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then there's that one, but we did miss that one. We do get we start getting hints because they, for like 2 seconds, they show one shot while Dante is in the hospital waiting for Randall, and he kind of like looks back and like
yeah, and he sees
hallucinates or whatever.
Yeah, like him with her in the stretcher.
Yeah, and she's in the stretcher and she's right. And the only reason you even know it's her is because of that yellow hoodie and that yellow Moobies hoodie. And it's like, oh shit, she did that. And then it's like, oh, and then you got to remember, oh yeah, she was pregnant with this child.
Yeah, at the end of Clerks 2, she was pregnant.
Like, oh my God. Like insane. So but it is also really crazy to me, like how in the timeline, how quickly after Clerks 2 that would have happened. You know, like
months.
Literally within months.
It's just so wild. And it just hurts even more to know that like Dante had like I got the happily ever after at the end of Clerks 2, but then it was just
he did.
Yeah, and he even says at one point, you know, I didn't get no third act. I get a fuck you and then another fuck you in the credits.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this
movie is fucking
we're not just yeah, dude. We're not just sitting here talking about Jay and Bob the whole time. Like it's like
yeah, no,
that
like
shit gets wild, and it starts to really pop. That first scene, that scene in the cemetery, is where it really starts to go.
Yeah,
like, that's where the foot gets put. Yeah, because then Dante gets inspired, and he's like, you know what? I am gonna make this movie with Randall.
Yeah, he's like, if this is gonna be my life story, because he knew right off the bat reading the script, he was like, this is my life.
Yeah.
And then Randall's like, no, it's my life. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And Dante's like, it's literally my life.
Yeah. We've been next to each other for 20 something years.
Yeah.
It's our lives at this point.
Exactly. And I thought that was such a funny little moment where he had that, where he was like, oh yeah, you know, like in Star Wars, you'd be like, and then he starts listing off characters and he goes, nah, you're not Chewie. I think that'd be Elias, if anything. And he's like trying to think of, he's like Dak. And it's like, the fuck is Dak?
Yeah.
Just some throwaway fucking character.
Yeah.
And like,
he went through a long list too of Star Wars characters.
Right, yeah. He was like Lando, Han, and like I love that he says Han.
Yeah. And then I can't remember quite in the order, but I know roughly at this point, we get to there's an audition scene, right? That's right. No, right after he goes to the fucking cemetery, he walks up
with the audition
poster, and we go right into the audition scene.
Dude.
And this is where we get all of our
on
cameos.
Making
It rain with the
Fucking-
cameos.
You like the Impractical Jokers? Well, here they are in Clerks
Yep.
3 for one joke each, and they're collectively not that funny. Like I thought,
Some was all right.
Ben Affleck's part,
Ben Affleck was great.
fucking trumped him easily.
Where he goes back into the
Line face.
accent.
Lemon face. Line face.
Affleck killed it.
All right, I'm Boston Mike.
Fred Armisen was funny.
Yeah, Fred Armisen was fucking good. That guy is such a fucking wild actor.
Boston Mike.
Trying to think of who else was in that.
Yeah, there's a
lineup
whole
even.
lot we're forgetting right now.
Oh my god, there was.
Ethan.
Ethan Suplee.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking sailboat.
That comes from a really deep place.
I love that. Like, if he never makes Twilight of the Mallrat, I will accept that as the closest thing that we get from that. Because, like, you can't exactly get TS anymore.
The fucking sailboat. He's losing it. That was a great moment. I was so happy that he put him in there. That was because I heard Ethan on some of his podcasts, and he's a really, really awesome guy. Because he's gone through like a lot, and his story is amazing. And it was just really cool to see him back in a Kevin Smith, because that's kind of the first place I ever saw him, I think, to be honest. Was in Mallrats. Oh wait, no, wasn't he on
Varsity Blues?
Was he never on like Nickelodeon or something though?
I don't believe so. I don't think he was like that young of an actor.
Yeah.
When he started.
Yeah. I never saw Varsity Blues though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was the guy that got a bunch of concussions.
Okay.
Or he was the goth roommate in Butterfly Effect.
I did see that.
That was a pretty wild movie.
Yeah, that's wild-ass movie. But anyway, I love Ethan Suplee.
Yeah, he's great.
That was one of my, between him and Affleck were probably my favorite.
Yeah, those ones stood out pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Melissa Benoist from Supergirl.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she was great.
I love it. They brought back the fucking new Chronic.
Yeah.
Because she plays Chronic now.
Yeah.
That's great.
True. That's true. That is sick. Yeah. And I think Scott Moser was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Playing, I think, the same character he would have played in the first two Clerks movies.
Right, yeah. They had that one guy that was just like fucking reading for Jay, and he just goes, this is funny. This sounds like the dude I buy my weed from.
Oh, yeah, that was the guy that was $15, little man. Yeah. And fucking Bob, what's his name? Bobby Moynihan. He's auditioning for Silent Bob.
Yeah, and he's just standing there.
That shit was fucking awesome.
Just standing there, just making faces, just mugging.
I love that idea because I don't think anyone ever did audition for that. Like, I think he just made that and just did it, right?
Yeah, because he didn't want to say any lines.
Exactly, but he wanted to be in it.
Role, yeah.
So nobody would have ever actually auditioned for that role in real life.
I also love that they did the
and they called him Silent Bill.
Yeah, they did that for everybody. They had what was it? It was like Randy.
Yeah.
And the fuck do they call Dante? Oh, Dan T.
Oh yeah.
And he's a hideous chud of a fucking person. Why would anybody like this Dan T character? All he does is complain. Elias coming back was one of my highlights of this movie also, because like his acting is just overstated enough that you can tell it's a caricature, but it's like just subtle enough that you almost believe him.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny. He plays that character so well.
He really does.
And he nailed the whole like being the
metal.
Mr. Dante kind of guy still. Yeah, even though he's going through his metal phase at 36.
Yeah.
Like,
literally,
I love that.
Did you notice? And it was funny because I noticed it in when I rewatched Clerks 2 as well. lots of King Diamond references.
Uh,
Like,
yeah, Randall apparently is a really big
lots,
King Diamond fan.
lots of King Diamond stuff in there. T-shirts, the face paint, like there's King Diamond songs in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck, that never stuck out to me before.
It's fucking rad.
It's super fucking rad. Like, yeah, and yeah, Elias though, and then what did he call his little Silent Bob buddy?
Oh god, what was his name?
I don't remember the character's actual name.
Yeah, they don't really
It's
reference
Harley's
him enough.
boyfriend. That's
Yeah.
how I know him.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I saw him. I was like, that's the guy that was dating.
Yeah. Yep.
Like they did a bunch of like internet shorts and stuff together. The
Yeah.
three of them.
Which were actually fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they were pretty funny.
And I think he made an appearance in Reboot or something
Maybe.
somewhere. I don't know. Oh, well, okay. No. Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of like going through, Elias, and Elias ends up being what? What was he, like a casting director or something?
Something like that. Like he was. Oh god, what the hell?
And Randall's the writer director, and Dante's the producer.
Yeah. Because they all
And
kind of
then-
helped with casting, but then
Yeah.
fucking Randall just goes, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
play myself. We're all gonna play ourselves.
They go through the casting, and he decides to cast everybody in real life. He's like, why the fuck am I gonna cast somebody as a crazy customer when we have crazy customers that come in here every day?
That's what Kevin did.
Yeah, exactly.
They even bring back some of those customers
Literally
from Clerks 1.
from the first one.
I was blown away by that.
That
shit.
was insane.
Like straight up, I was like, holy fuck. He actually tracked down these people that are non-actors to be like, we're making Clerks 3. It's been almost 30 years.
Oh yeah, wait. Just 1 second. One other cameo. Kevin's mom.
Oh yeah, Kevin's mom.
That was great.
In the auditions. Whoever wrote this mother should be ashamed of him.
Yeah. That was great. And that just
great.
stuck out because I when you watch Clerks 2, she's the person doing the milk at the end. And then in Clerks 3, it's Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Well, she
that
also
is
does
sweet.
it at the end of Clerks 2.
Who? Harley?
Kevin's mom.
Yeah, Kevin's mom does it at the end, like doing like the last
Okay.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in Clerks 3, it's Harley.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Her going through the oat milk.
Yeah, yeah.
but
yeah, so
they've been like remaking all these scenes and stuff. Like,
they end up casting everybody, and this is about when
Oh.
he gets Silent Bob to be DP.
this is when Veronica comes back in because Randall decided
That's
if
right.
I'm gonna get everybody to be themselves, I gotta get Veronica back in here because the
Yep.
37 Dick scene, and she comes in, fucking guns are blazing, rattling off fucking insult after insult, fucking throwing that script at him and shit, telling him he's a man baby, he needs to grow up, and that she is fucking got better things to do because she actually has a family. And then she stops and looks at Dante and it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
And then they reconnect and have like a moment, and then they fuck in the car.
which
I'm
was
not-
awesome. Very fun. You want to fuck?
Yeah, that show was really funny. But then she's on board and fucking decides like, well, this is gonna be like a celebration of like the lives that all of these people have lived.
Mhm.
So she fucking jumps on board with it.
Yep. And it was really awesome to see her
Yeah,
again.
it was
in
really cool.
Flick. Yeah.
Like, oh man, so good.
As soon as she
Especially-
walked in, I was that was one moment in the movie. I was like, oh yeah, like
right
it's
instantly.
like,
I was like,
yeah.
fuck yeah, I'm so glad they got these people back. And then oh man, like I love the way they recreate certain scenes because like they'll be like doing it in the middle and they'll say something where I'm like, is that just like a little Easter egg where it's like that's why it looked weird? Like when the dude's doing the Chuli's gum ad.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, check this out. And the guy's like, oh, what the fuck is that? That's your lung. And then fucking Dante just goes, oh God, it smells so fucking horrible. And he goes, yeah, it's tripe. I'm using that stomach instead of a lung. You know, it's method. You know, I'm trying to get into it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is like a fucking exactly like an Easter egg, because isn't that what really happened?
Like, he was just
Like-
using a stomach that was
Yeah.
actually a lung.
Yeah. Like it was using something else. And
Yeah, it was
and
like a
so,
different organ.
So like it smelled like fucking death.
Yeah.
And fucking they were like, oh God.
I just thought that scene was really fucking funny because I was like, I really hope that was just like them being like, remember when we did that actually?
Yeah, no, yeah. That's exact. Yeah, that's what I That's the way I interpreted it, at least, because I
Yeah.
feel like I have a memory of him telling a story like that once.
It's so beautiful to re-see all of these like recreated scenes too, because like that was like such a small part of what they actually shot,
Mm.
and like it's just so fun to see like fucking Jay doing the all right, everybody needs to look away. All right, we're looking away. No, like go inside, like get inside the store. Like that actually happened to him when they were filming the original Clerks, where
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm fucking shy, man. I don't want to fucking dance in front of all these people, man. Don't make me
Yeah.
do this shit."
He refused to do it while anybody was watching.
Yeah, and like literally, they just had to leave the camera on, fucking do the scene once fucking everybody was gone. I just love that.
I was pretty amazed that they like put that in this. I was very happy about that, because that's
Mhm.
always one of the stories that stuck out to me, is how like, because that does that in, and I guess that kind of speaks to how good he was even back then, is like, because that does not come through on in any of the movies at all, that this guy's
Mhm.
shy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the exact opposite when it's he's just, but if he can get into that mode, he goes.
I also really like that they fucking made Jay a bad actor in it,
Yeah. Yeah.
where fucking, there was like that like fucking like there's 1,000 beautiful women. He's like,
In the world.
that's not even the fucking line. What are you doing?
Yeah, and then Kevin goes, "Shut the fuck up, man. I'll do it." And that's where Silent Bob gets his first speaking line. I don't remember if that part is part of the actual lore, but I bet it would be.
Maybe that he was just fucking up the line so much that
Yeah.
he was like, let me do it.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
he also seemed very tired and just ready to be done with it when
Yeah.
he was saying that line in the fucking movie. I also love the fucking, oh, there was some boring parts in the third act, so I decided to zest it up and kill you. He's like, you can't kill me in the third act. And it's like, why not? And it's like, that's what they were going to do in the original Clerks, was going to end it with him getting shot and fucking, that was
Yeah.
just going to be it. So, like,
what if there's a sequel?
what am I, a hack? And then you see Kevin Smith go, so funny. That I just love that also, the subtle foreshadowing of that too, where like it's just been like little trips of
Yeah.
it, like being like, you're so focused in Randall's story, just like Dante is, that he forgot to look after himself.
Yeah.
And there's so many warning signs to tell him like, fucking do something. But like it doesn't hit until it happens.
Right.
And like that fucking was crazy. So like, not only are they making Clerks, but then you find out that they're also doing the movies era, and they're doing Clerks 2 while they're making Clerks 1.
So once they had Rosario come back in the way that she did, the next big surprise for me was, I was like, oh shit, we're doing Clerks 2 too? Like I did not, that was never part of the synopsis that I read, or even in any of the trailers. Like, that was a total shock to me. I was like, wait, he's like finding a way to go back and film. He wants to film the donkey scene at movies, and
so Jane and Bob get everybody high at movies.
Yeah,
and they try to sneak in.
What? Oh yeah, and wasn't that Melissa Villasenor or something from Saturday Night Live, who was in the movies costume?
Kate McCucci.
Oh, Kate McCucci. All right. Yeah, she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, one half of Garfunkel and Oates. I don't know which one would be Garfunkel and which one would be Oates.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, that is that was a good scene. That was a good scene, because that's when he comes up with the shit is the Wolverine claws,
you get
the joints,
pre-Wolverine,
the pre-rolls, yeah. Pre-Wolverine. Fuck yeah. And then they get everybody high at movies, and they try to come back, and Dante freaks out.
Dante
sees
sees
where we
the
get
movies, and he
where we
can't
get another
help
Force
but
Ghost
freak out. But and then Rosario's there just being like, don't do this, don't do this, you don't run away, don't do it. And he starts to just fucking run, and he just gets the fuck out of there. Randall gets pissed, goes back to the store to try to film some other scenes with the other dudes, because fucking Dante just dipped on him. And then there's the one girl from the press that's like a high school student just waiting for him there.
Yeah, this is when Mark Bernardin shows up.
Yeah, he's the dad of the girl.
Yeah.
And apparently he's a fucking terrible dude too. The wife is just berating him, and he's sitting there just,
And I don't know that lady's name, but she is always funny in everything I've ever seen her. And I was like,
she
oh
killed it.
God, she's hilarious.
Yeah, she absolutely killed that scene. She ate that fucking scenery.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, and then we get to so yeah, it's kind of like the movies. Are we missing something though? Before we get to the filming of the final scene?
Ooh, God, I'm trying to think. There's probably some stuff. Well, Elias and his Silent Bob are launching NFTs that are Christ kites that have
Oh
Bloody
yeah.
Christ on them, and they're like really hoping that it's gonna go big once it goes public. And everybody's like, NFTs are fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you doing stupid crypto shit? And
Yeah, they make fun of crypto shit the whole fucking movie.
yeah, they poo poo it the entire time, and like Elias is like, nah, you know what? Satan will provide. I guarantee it. I just love that because like he went from fucking Jesus to Satan just because of Dante or fucking Randall's heart attack.
And one thing we did skip over is that Dante, the producer, did end up securing the money.
Oh, because he contacted his fucking ex, the girl from Clerks 2
Mhm.
that he ran off from
with Rosario.
And he put up half of his stake of the quick stop
of the quick stop. Yeah.
For the $30,000 that he needed to make the movie.
Yep. So
it's fucking deep, man. That's so fucking crazy. So yeah, they're back at the store and they're doing the whole like, oh great, this is the press. We got a fucking high schooler and shit.
Yeah.
And
this is when like Dante doesn't he show up like drunk?
Yeah, he spills in drunk because he just didn't want to deal with the whole thought of all of what was going on.
Yeah.
And Randall takes him in the freezer and tells him fucking stop being a selfish prick, and all he thinks about is himself, and he needs to fucking help him out with his goddamn movie. And fucking Dante's had enough. He's like, no, dude, I've done fucking everything for you. I've literally sat here and just waited for you to do shit. And it's fucking heartbreaking. Like he starts to fucking really just show how fucking deep his emotions can really run. It's so fucking heart-wrenching. And he tells him, fuck you, I'm done with this friendship, I'm done with all of this, I don't want a fucking part of a single bit of this. And he fucking passes out,
collapses,
and you think there's no way.
Yep.
They can't. And they rush him to the hospital. Randall gets evicted because he is just being hysterical after Elias tells him that Dante literally put up half of the quick stop to make this fucking movie. And Randall realizes like, oh shit, like that's my friend back there. I gotta see him. And like at that point they won't fucking budge for him. They won't let him see anybody. They just push him out, and he tells Elias, well, then I'm gonna go try to make my movie. And Elias fucking reams him. Reams him like an actual man. Fucking just like, that's your best friend in there, and you're gonna fucking go make a stupid fucking movie. And he's like, it's different. It's way different than that. I'm not just gonna go make a movie. I'm gonna go make the movie. And he rushes home. He fucking edits all of the movie together just in time to show it to Dante, who is on a ventilator.
Well, there was he did need a little help, much like, which I kind of felt like was a slight little tiny reference to Mallrats, because if I remember right, in Mallrats, somebody needed a distraction.
Oh yeah.
And in this one, Randall needed a distraction because, to your point, they kicked him out. They weren't going to let him back in.
Right. So they had to have Jane Silent Bob go hog wild.
I did a poo in the ICU.
And all the security running for Jay and shit. He sneaks in with the Randall sneaks in with the laptop behind them.
Yep.
Again.
In the original denim jacket too.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, that scene of him running down the road trying to get to his apartment so he can start working on the movie was so fucking cool too.
Yeah.
Really good shot.
Yeah.
Then he fucking sets that laptop down in front of Dante and goes, I finished my movie. And you know something, you're right. I wasn't the star of this movie. It never was. You were. He's like, that's the only way I could ever have seen it, is you as the main character. And,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
man, it's so beautiful. Like him giving this swan song to the best friend he's ever had in his entire life.
Yeah.
And he shows him literally scene for scene Clerks 1 and Clerks 2. And as Dante's sitting there watching it, he's imagining himself in a big old movie theater, watching it on the big silver screen right next to Rosario.
Mm-hmm.
Just to fucking chill out and hang out with the fucking time. Just man, I love it too, because like as it gets towards the end of Clerks 2, he looks at the screen and goes, "Yeah, I don't need to see the rest." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "Let's get out of here. We're gonna go." And she's like, "But you haven't seen the end of the movie." He goes, "I don't have to. I trust the director." And
Oh.
Kevin Smith isn't allowed to write emotional scenes anymore, but not because he's bad at it, because he's
too good at it.
A little too good at it. He probably sat there and cried for 15 minutes straight after writing that shit.
I think 15 minutes that's giving him, I think it was at least an hour.
Dude, right? Because like that is a fucking beautiful line. Beautiful. And then he follows it up with, not only that, but he's the best friend I ever had.
Yeah.
And
that hits so fucking hard.
Watching Dante die
so hard
shouldn't have been so emotionally valid.
No. Yeah.
Like, oh man. A story that has been ongoing for 30 years almost.
Yeah.
Coming to a close like that. It fucking hit way harder than it ever fucking needed to. And I fucking adore Kevin Smith for that.
Yeah.
Like fucking, and Brian O'Halloran.
Oh man. No,
he
God.
Fucking killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. What an underrated actor. Fucking, he needs more love.
He delivered. Because without that exact delivery, like it doesn't hit as hard, and he knocked it out of the fucking park. All of them did. And then Randall's reaction once the movie's over, it's just he just loses it because the flatline and everything. And it's it happens in such a like quick period of time. You're like, really? Are they really doing this?
Yeah, I was like, dude, they're like actually killing off Dante, the main character of Clerks.
I was like, I can't believe it. Like, I was like, because so it's like you get hit with all the shock.
Yeah.
Like, and then it lands perfectly.
You see Dante standing over, or Randall standing over Dante's grave, giving his eulogy. I loved it too, because he was just like, normally I would quote something like Star Wars or, like Wrath of Khan or something like that. And he's like, but I think instead of making a pop culture reference, I'm going to take a quote out of, and he fucking said something like, I don't even remember what it was, but like, it was just another pop culture reference.
No, he said, "You're not even supposed to be here today."
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look at, I'm going to quote the man
himself. Yeah. My best friend. You're not even supposed to be here today. Oh, man. And I loved that was another, to your point, that was kind of another Easter egg foreshadowing through line throughout the movie. That line was constant throughout the entire movie, even more so than in the others.
Mm-hmm.
They would pop up in the others once in a while, but in this one it was like every single act had multiple people, like especially the fucking audition scene.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
was supposed to be here today.
Every single one did their little version of it.
Yeah.
And then so we do the funeral. It was a great shot of the funeral home from the first one, and then we go right to the
Elias fucking doing the fucking Jesus thing, because that's been a reoccurring joke throughout it too. The Jesus was crucified with two thieves, a good thief and a bad thief, and Randall always says, "Well, I think if they both got caught, then they're both pretty bad thieves."
Yeah, that was a good one.
Fucking Elias is just like, yeah, the bad thief said to Jesus, "Oh, why wouldn't you just save us?" And then the good thief said, "Oh, we are but thieves." And everybody's like, "What the fuck are butt thieves?"
Oh
You see
yeah,
Harley for the first time in the movie,
yeah,
and she goes, "What are butt thieves?" And Jay goes, "Oh."
yeah. And they're sitting next to each other at the funeral, so they're like reconnected as father and daughter there. And then
Mhm.
she kind of like gives eyes to her
To
real life boyfriend, the
yeah,
Silent Bob,
Elias
to
is Silent
Elias.
Bob.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta remember that guy's name at some
yeah. I
point.
can't remember.
It'll
It's
happen
funny
at
though.
some point, but not right now.
Yeah. But then, yeah, we come back to the quick stop, and now, uh,
It's Elias and Randall running the
Elias and
quick stop
Randall.
together.
Yep. And it's funny because there was that line in Clerks too where Randall even said, "If
If Dante's ever gone, who
yeah,
else am I gonna hang out
you're
with?"
gonna be my new best friend."
Yeah,
So
and that fucking topped it off pretty well too. Where like Elias is pretty bummed out. He's just like, "Well, it's gonna be you and me against the world now, bud."
mhm.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I still get to hang out with Randall."
And then Elias gets to pray to Satan one last time.
Uh-huh. Because fucking his Silent Bob comes rushing in, screaming his fucking
Wait,
head
wait,
off.
who comes in first though?
Oh, fucking yeah. Dante's ex fucking comes in.
Fiance.
Ex fiance comes in looking for her money because now
Mhm.
he's dead. And she was at the funeral because
Mhm.
obviously she cared about him. So fucking she's gonna at least, show up.
Yeah.
But she's expecting her money right off the bat because fucking dead men pay no bills.
Yep.
But then
Elias starts praying to Satan.
to smite the wench, and then fucking his Silent Bob comes busting in,
Yeah.
fucking
Saying
screaming,
his first line of the movie.
yeah, saying the kites took off, and he's like, "The hell are you talking about? The NFT kites, they sold out." And fucking Elias is like, "Holy shit, what have you done?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I went and I cashed out a bunch of money." He's like, "I got a whole fucking $1 million right here. Here's your half." He just hands Elias a big old bag of money, and Elias pulls out 3 wads of thousands bills. Just fucking he goes,
Throws it at her.
"Here you go, you witch." And she's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's cool." Like everything is just fucking hunky dory there. They got everything paid off and shit. And then it just kind of zooms out and lets it, end, where Randall gets to look over the store and smile, where like he's like,
Mhm.
"Well, my life may be pretty weird, but I definitely have loved the life that I've lived." And him seeing Dante pass definitely helped him kind of put that into perspective because he always was feeling down on himself for not having a life, basically.
Right.
And then in the credits, Kevin Smith let us know that there was a wrap up dialogue that was supposed to happen that he never ended up putting into the movie. He just thought it was better off, but it was Randall on his 90th birthday was given a award for leagues of movies or something like that, and it was just like him getting like a good tribute, and like he obviously lived a nice long life afterwards and like got to make more movies, and like he got to be recognized for that,
Yeah.
which I kind of hope
And
is like what he wants to actually have, but
right.
that's a whole other story.
And it really was like it was wild. There was no like post credit scene or mid credit scene or anything like that. It was literally wild. The black screen and the credits are rolling. Kevin's voice comes over and
Yeah, no,
and
just for
gives
the
yeah and
release
just
for the
talks.
theaters.
Yeah, yeah. And then after the credits there was like a little making of thing which they also did during the theatrical run for Reboot. And then that making of was also included on the Reboot DVD.
Okay,
So I imagine this one will be as well.
that makes sense.
They also by now, I mean, it took a while after Reboot came out on DVD, but I think a lot of that is on YouTube now as well. So I imagine this will be as well eventually. But yeah, dude, I definitely I loved it a lot more than I was expecting to. I expected to love it, but like to like for it to do everything that it did and the emotional roller coaster that it gives you those are elements that I wasn't totally expecting to hit as hard as they did, and they totally did. And it was absolutely awesome.
Amazingly done.
So many I mean, this is kind of probably one of the first times a movie like this has ever really been done in a way, but I can't imagine a better way of doing it in terms of like if you're going to make a movie about a movie that you already made, essentially, like having everybody come back in the way that he did and including new references throughout the future timeline and all that stuff. Like it was just so well executed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it is my favorite one that he's done since Clerks 2, honestly. After going back and watching Clerks 2 again, I fucking love that movie.
Oh man, I don't even know because like I rank this movie pretty high in his catalog, honestly. Because like,
so you'd go back even farther.
Yeah, man,
I would say I would say favorite since 2, but I might rank it higher than 2 if I were to do a list.
I think it's his best movie since like Dogma and Strikes Back era.
I might agree with that. That's probably where I would go.
Because like because Clerks 2 was a good movie,
mm-hmm.
and it had like really good poignant emotional scenes between him and Becky and stuff. But like this movie hit a different plateau altogether where like I genuinely am excited for whatever else Kevin Smith can possibly think of next. Because like if that was like his like fucking bowing out of the Clerks franchise, then like I can't even imagine what else he could fucking pull off. Like I don't imagine him making another Jane Silent Bob movie anytime soon, but
no time soon. But that's not to say we won't see them again soon.
Right, yeah. They won't be the stars of the movie, but they'll probably be around.
And that was another thing I liked, how they like the whole, there was even like a I don't even know, like a fucking like a Inception joke of making Silent Bob the DP.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is full on meta.
That was really funny.
That was great. But yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I probably would put it up with those era movies. And when I say that, I just mean in terms of like my favorites, when like I imagine myself rewatching 3 a lot. Like, in those old movies, it's the rewatchability in a lot of ways, because it's just like they're like comfort food, you know what I mean? It's just like something you can always go back to, it's gonna make you laugh. This one, it'll make you cry too. Like, I was glad I was alone in my row while I was watching this movie, because I was like, oh my god.
I was sitting there like, you're a grown man. It's a movie. You're a grown man. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool if you cry too, but like you should know. You should know.
It was very heavy, but
dude.
It landed it perfect. It was like that Saturday Night Live bit of Chris Farley skating. Like, he just lands everything perfectly. Like,
just absolutely fucking beautifully done. Yeah,
I loved
it. Like, I couldn't rank his. I honestly couldn't rank his movies if I tried, but this one would be pretty high up.
Yeah, definitely in terms of favorites. And I think that's one of the things I said to you guys right after I saw it. I was like, I want to see this 1,000 more times, like just like all the other ones. Like, it's because that's kind of the thing, is I've seen Dogma 100 times, you know what I mean? So it's going to be hard to compete with that until you see this one 100 times, kind of a thing.
Right, exactly.
You get to know it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Until you feel like you've seen it and like know it enough, it doesn't have the same effect as like a movie that you've had for years and years and years.
It's like a fucking album, If you're not gonna say your favorite album of all time is one that you've only heard once or twice,
right? Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Your favorite album in your entire life might have come out tomorrow, but you don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man.
Clerks is like chips. You can't just have one.
No. And like you said, that was a very good point. Is it did make me, it did make me go immediately like, fuck, I can't wait till the next thing he does now.
Yeah,
Like right away. That's a very good point.
because like if Clerks 3, something that like most people would have been like, I can't believe they're actually making a third.
Yeah, most
like,
people probably are.
Yeah, like if it can be that good,
Yeah.
then like I feel like he could just do that with anything realistically.
Yeah.
Because like Jay and Silent Bob reboot was one of those movies that I really liked, but it didn't hit me the same.
Mhm.
Where like I thought it was gonna be like one that like was just uproarious laughter all the time, and like I almost wanted it to just be Strikes Back again in a weird way.
Yeah.
But like it didn't end up being like that, and like I don't know. I don't like it any less than I would, but like I wanted it to like hit in a different way.
Fair enough.
And this movie hit in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yes, it did. And it did it while even with two people that are as hardcore fans as we are, it surprised both of us.
Mm.
And that was why that was a major reason I didn't want to say fucking anything to you before you saw it, because I was like, I want him to have the exact same surprise that I did, like, because that's, I feel like, part of what made it land so well. It was like there was a lot of elements of this movie I was not expecting at all going in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought I knew what this movie was going to be, and it totally was something different, and it was all the better for it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good. And like I'm glad I just went in without knowing anything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to hear anybody's thoughts on it. I just wanted to just be like, same thing with Nope. I saw so many things for Nope before I saw Nope, and I was like, no, fuck you and fuck all your little like I'm gonna talk about the movie before people get a chance to actually see it shit. And I just fucking ignored it until I actually saw the movie, and then I started going through that shit like, all right, I gotta see what these people said.
Yeah. I did the same thing actually.
I want to know what people know. What the fuck is Gordy's house?
But this one appears to be, I mean, it's got like a 94% audience on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, the people that have seen this movie have already fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And I really hope that translates across, because like I can't imagine a person cynical enough to see this movie and think bad things about it.
Right.
I personally can't imagine it. I know that there was one that exists out there that's probably just instantly like giving this a fucking bad rating just because it's a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
I read Kevin Smith cry while he was writing this. Probably.
Yeah. Are you not a podcast fan?
It's an ode to his life.
Yeah.
You know? Something very very meaningful in his life that like obvious.
But he cries when he talks about Batman cartoons. So like there's that too, you know. If you're a fan of him, it's part of his he's just that into this stuff. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why you love him. Exactly. Like, that's part of the reason why I love him, is because he's that much into this stuff that he feels that way about it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I relate to him. Like I love it.
Yeah.
So
he's a passionate fan and always will be.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. Is there anything? I don't even know how long we've been going, to be honest with you.
Me either. I honestly don't know how long I could talk about this movie.
Right?
Because it is that fucking good. I cannot wait to get a copy of this on DVD.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's going to be a ton of like deleted scenes and bonuses and extra shit, and even the commentary track will probably be awesome,
dude. Oh my god, yeah.
All of that. Like I ate all of that up on the reboot DVD. Like I was like, oh,
the reboot DVD was really fucking good with that stuff.
Packed.
Oh my god, absolutely loved it. Man, so fucking. I might have to actually watch reboot now that I'm mentioning it, because like. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I was shitting on it, but like,
no,
it was just like I said before, expectations are poison.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruins experiences when you think you're going to assume things that are going to be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just,
you
gotta go in blind and let your heart, the best way to do it, tell you what you actually feel.
Yep. That's the best way to do it. 100%. Yeah. So, well, shit. That's a good note, actually, to end on.
Watch the fucking movie.
Yeah. Sadly, it's
think for yourself.
It's at least at least at the moment it's no longer in movie theaters, but they do have the Clerks 3. I think it's the Inconvenience Tour.
Yeah, the Inconvenience Tour.
And
stupid name. I love that he ends up just naming it Clerk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's doing the Inconvenience Tour.
And that's tickets, going through. Yeah, tickets are on sale now for everywhere.
Yeah, you can get some.
I think
some
it goes
balcony seats still.
I think, well, in Detroit at least, yeah. And I think it goes through like November a bit.
Yeah, it's going up until like the end of the year, so we're probably gonna get a DVD by the time like Christmas arrives.
That would be awesome. Fingers crossed for that.
Yeah,
that would be really
if not,
sweet.
It would be like, or at least that winter.
At least like, throw it up on Amazon for a few bucks or something. I'd rent it for $4.
It's fucking streaming on Roku and Vudu and stuff, and like you can like purchase it on Vudu right now.
Well, then
if you don't want to go to the theater, go to Vudu.
There we go.
And not an ad. I don't know anybody that actually works at Vudu.
Is kind of an ad for it. Oh, not an ad.
No,
for Vudu.
Yeah.
But no. Definitely if you get it, go fucking rent it or get it on one of those services, because it's definitely worth your time.
Oh, it's way worth
and
your time. If you haven't watched it and you watched our episode, then we just ruined it for you. Come on, man. What are you doing?
I'll have to I forgot to say spoilers, but I'll have to put it in the title. But yeah, fuck it. Like definitely. Shit. Yeah, it's too late now. I was gonna say don't watch this before you watch that. But
right, yeah. But if you've already gotten to this point, you've seen the episode, and we've already talked about the entirety of this movie. We left out certain jokes here and there.
Lots of details.
Can't remember all of it.
Well, even some of them, but lots of key details and awesome jokes and awesome scenes that we did not touch on all of them, but a lot of them were like kind of jokes and not stuff that we just kind of focused on the story itself.
Yeah, like they had some cutaways to Jay and Silent Bob making a giant joint, and that was like something that they kept on doing here and there. And then at one point they're like smoking it, and fucking Jay looks at him and goes, "I don't know, it's not hidden. I think it needs more weed."
Yeah, there's a lot of Jay and Silent Bob scenes that we didn't talk about, honestly. So definitely check it out. It's, if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, the View Askewerverse, and any other movies, then you're gonna love it. It's right up your alley, and it's gonna be the shit for you. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you, Alex, for coming over.
Oh, of course.
Talking about this one. Yeah, this was epic, and
I always enjoy our talks.
Yeah. Always, and there will be more to come in the future. But I hope you all see this movie, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as we do. Until next time, everyone, good night. As I said in the intro, this is a incredible movie. It really landed and hit very, very hard from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Alex, for coming on the show and us getting to do a crosscast again together, our Lost in the Bog series. Always a blast talking to him, especially about something like this, which him and I are very, very mega fans of, very passionate about. So this was one of those episodes that just like we stopped recording. We were like, how even long were we talking? Like, we couldn't tell if it was 20 minutes or an hour. Like, it just went by like that. This is one of the fun sides for sure of doing podcasts, especially with your friends, and especially with your friends that are very, very passionate about the same kind of things you are. And that's what this episode was, basically two friends that are just nerding out over this thing that they both fucking love. So it's this was an absolute blast. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all either go see or have seen Clerks 3. Get it when it comes out on DVD. It's gonna be it's a fucking amazing movie, and I hope everybody sees it and enjoys it as much as we did. But until next time, my friends, as always, raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads and go see Clerks 3. We love you all to death. Good night.
It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne,
And Michelle.
and we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast, and you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise Your Horns.
Lost in the dark.